Hey everyone, this is Saito and welcome to my Kinich guide. I tried pulling for him like 100 times and I'm not even kidding, but I still didn't get him, so I will just make a coping guide about him. That said, let's go right to the video. So first of all, how does he play? He has a skill which is very interesting. He will shoot a web around and you can also do it twice if you are in Natlan, because the second time that you use it, he will need some of that orange energy that you only get in Natlan. Now I don't know if you can still do that, for example, in Inazuma. I am not sure about that, but when you do your skill against an enemy, he will just attach himself to the enemy, and every time you do your normal attack, he will just spin around and hit the enemy even more. After you charge up your Night Soul stuff, he will be able to do his skill, which becomes a cannon, and you can see from this stuff that the scaling does not joke around. Also, if you're worried that you will have to wait 18 seconds to do this stuff in exploration, don't worry, because the cooldown will become, I think, 6 seconds. It's like Xian Yun, I think. Now the burst is very nice and also very cool. He will summon his friend, which is Kuhul Aja, I don't know, on a limited, conditional, restricted, contractual, partial, temporary basis, and he will deal a lot of damage over time, and you can actually see him do it. It's so cool, look at this guy, it's such a fat dragon. It's very nice because you get a constant dendro application that isn't like instantaneous, because for example, Collei isn't good at applying dendro because her burst does it immediately. It doesn't even give time to your opponents to get affected by dendro, while the dragon waits for some time before shooting. Now let's talk about the passive talents. For example, this one, you should not even talk about this because it's very useless. It simply says that you can play him instead of a Yumkasaur. So in Natlan there are some gimmicks where you have to use a Yumkasaur to just fly around, and now you can just use Kinich instead, which is fine, but it doesn't need to be a fucking passive talent. And that's also why they gave him one more talent, because this one doesn't do anything. When the opponents are hit by Burning or Burgeon, but only the one that is marked by him, they will give him 7 Night Soul points, and this can apply every almost 1 second, so it's something very fast, so you can get a lot of Night Soul points very easily. Like, he can farm them very fast, and that makes him be even more able to shoot even more cannons. And lastly we have this one, which is something that you can do only if you have a Natlan character. When a party member from Natlan uses the Night Soul burst, Kinich will gain 1 stack, you can get up to 2 of them, and when you will shoot your cannon, you will increase the damage of his skill's cannon by 320% of his attack, and you can do it twice. So for now I think it's just a meme thing, because you should never play Kachina, Mualani and him together, because they are trash together, but I feel like in the future, especially with like Mabuika, it will become even better. I think Mabuika will already be amazing for him, and we haven't even seen her yet, but yeah, this is basically a talent that will become even more useful as time passes. So the priority is skill over burst over normal attacks. You should never increase the normal attacks, because the loop attacks are considered skill damage, so the normal attacks actually never get used. You should not upgrade them. Now for the best weapons, of course the best one is the Fang of the Mountain King, which is, you guessed it, the signature weapon, because it basically gives him a 60% skill and burst damage bonus. This happens when you trigger a Burning or Burgeon reaction, but this is very important, because if you wanna make a team that isn't Burgeon or Burning, you won't even be able to trigger this effect. It's fucking insane. So honestly, don't pull for this weapon, because it basically locks you into having just one team. Like, if you wanna play him in a quicken team, play him, but you won't even be able to use a signature weapon. It's fucking stupid. But apart from that, it also gives you a miserable amount of crit rate. Like, at level fucking 90, it gives you 11 crit rate. Just an example, the Serpent Spine, which is a 4-star, yes, you can obtain it only with the battle pass, but it's still a 4-star, has almost 28% crit rate, while a 5-star weapon that you have to literally pull for only has 11. It's very stupid. You should not pull for this weapon, honestly. So that said, there is a much better option, which is the Beacon of the Red Sea. It literally gives him 3 times the crit rate, and it also increases his damage by 20% when he gets hit, and most importantly when he uses his skill. And I am pretty sure they stack, so if you get hit while also using your skill, you will get a 40% attack bonus, just like that. And also, this is a pretty cool bonus, your HP will be increased by 32% if you're not protected by a shield. But honestly, if you have a shield like Zhongli, you don't really need to have that bonus HP. Now, as I said before, one of the best options is the Serpent Spine. It gives him, as I said, 28% crit rate, and it can also increase his damage by up to 30% if you don't get hit. And this will be even easier for Kinich because he's very able to evade many attacks. But if you don't wanna buy the battle pass, I completely get it. Another great option is, just like me, the Blackleaf Slasher. It increases his attack up to 36% if you kill 3 enemies. Its main stat is also 55% of crit damage, and it's also a weapon that is guaranteed you can get if you buy it with some star glitter. So to me, it's very worth it. But then again, another great option is the Earth Shaker. It was released in this patch just for him, and it increases his kill damage by 16% for 8 seconds when someone triggers a pyro-related reaction. Again, I don't like this because it forces you not to play him in like a quicken team, and besides that, the main stat is also just attack. In general, you should not get weapons that have attack as the main stat. And lastly, this is a pretty bad one, but you can also try the Prototype Archaic, because you can craft it since the start of the game, and that's pretty much about it. It's a pretty weak weapon, it also has attack as the main stat. Just get the Blackleaf Slasher, or wait and pull for the Beacon of the Reed Seed. Don't pull for that shitty weapon. So for the artifacts, as usual, just like any new Natlan character, the best set is by far the Obsidian Codex. Why? Because 40% crit rate bonus is a lot. You will hear this for basically every character that comes from Natlan from now on, so get ready, but if you don't have it, then use Unfinished Reverie. It's a set made for burning characters, and I didn't expect it to be made for someone else than Emily, but I'm happy that at least this set does something more than just help her. But then again, if you don't want to waste a lot of time just farming it, then you can just try 2 pieces Deepwood Memories and 2 pieces Golden Troop, or 2 pieces Deepwood and 2 pieces Gladiator's Finale, or 2 pieces Golden Troop and 2 pieces Gladiator. Just find your own way. Like, these are all very generic options that are also very powerful. Like, you don't need 4 pieces of Obsidian Codex to make him very powerful. I mean, Obsidian Codex give him that 40% crit rate, but he can still be a very powerful character even if you just give him 2 pieces Deepwood and 2 pieces Golden Troop. Now for the main stats, just go Attack Sense, Dendro Damage Goblet, and also a Crit Circlet. And for the substats, Crit over Attack over Energy Recharge, and that's it. Okay, so for the teams, as you can see, I am broke as fuck. Like, this is a I just lost my dog poor version kind of shit. But if you squeeze your mind hard enough, that collie will start looking like a Kinich. And if you keep squeezing it, eventually my name will start looking like an Emily. Do I look like Emily IRL? You may never know. Okay, but for real though, Kinich is very powerful in burning teams. For some reason, like, I don't get why they wanted him to be a burning character so much, but he is, so he's very powerful alongside Emily, of course. There is not much to say, just the objective is put the enemies on fire so that he can get more buffs, Emily can shoot more stuff, and that's it. That said, you can replace Bennett with like, even Dia can do something this time, so I would play Dia just so that she can do something. Otherwise you can just use Toma so that you can get a bit of a shield, because, you know, you may have some problems, even if Kinich doesn't really need to like be shielded because he can dodge so many attacks. But yeah, a fun team would be like this one, because you apply a lot of Pyro and Dendro, and you also get some shields, so it's pretty good. But if you want a Virgin team, just use this one. It's still very powerful, except this time my name is Nahida. But then again, the Dendro Traveler isn't even that bad as a Dendro support. If you don't have Baiju or Nahida, just use the Traveler, it's very nice, like, it's fine. And also same goes for Yilan, if you don't have her, just use Xinchu. And that's it, so you can make the team free to play, but as you can see, you do lose a lot of value. Like, it would be way better if you had Nahida, but still the Traveler is very powerful. Now this is another very powerful team, which is a quicken one. However, you have to remember that Kinich does not get some Night Soul points if he doesn't activate any burning reaction, so in this case he will deal less damage by using the cannon. But of course he's still very powerful even without it, so you can just play him anyway. Now as you can see, this does look very expensive. It would be for 5 stars, so instead you can just put Fischl here, is fine, and instead of Zhongli you can put Diona, if I can find her. Yep, you can put her. The reason why you will not want to use Toma, for example, is because he fucks up the entire quicken gimmick by applying Pyro, so it becomes burning once again, and also because Cryo does not have any effect on Dendro. Otherwise, another very nice team would be Hyperbloom, so you should put Cookie Shinobu, because she's very powerful in any Hyperbloom team, and you should also put either Xinchu or Yilan. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So despite his gameplay being very repetitive, he does have a lot of options. use in the end. Alright, now let's talk about the Constellations. So, this one is pretty nice. It's not that great honestly, but the good thing about it is that you get 100% bonus crit damage about your cannon. So when I said that this wasn't very good, I was completely lying. This is fucking amazing. Just getting 100% free crit damage for the cannon, which is something that you should always use. It's like the core of his gameplay. It's very nice, it's very powerful. But it's still weaker than the C2. The C2 is insane. When you hit your opponents with your skill, they will get the resistance decreased by 30% for 6 seconds, about their danger of course. So this means that they would also get more damage from stuff like Emily and all of that. And not only that, but the first cannon that you shoot when you use your rotation will have its damage increased by 100% and the range of it will be also increased. So it's insane. This is incredibly powerful. Just remember that every time you read like resistance decrease, it's very powerful. Now the third one and fifth one, I won't even say it. The fourth one is pretty good because you get more energy more easily and your burst also deals more damage, but it's not necessarily very powerful. Out of all of these, this is the worst one. And the last one is pretty good. When you use your cannon, you will shoot another shot of it that deals around 70% of its original damage, and it's still very powerful and it almost doubles your damage. However, I think the best ones are the first one, the second one and the third one, because it increases the skill and not the burst. But the second one is clearly the strongest one out of all of them. It's crazy how strong it is. It really reminds me of Raiden Shogun, which has a similar C2 and also get this free advertisement. But yeah, if you want to, go get the second one, and if you want also the third one, and that's it. So should you pull for him? I really do think so. He's very powerful. Like, look at this fucking animation. It's so fucking cool. Like, look at this shit. Yeah, now he's gonna kill some random puppy. But yeah, he's very fun to play. The fact that he just shoots his webs around is very nice. Even this animation is cool as fuck. Like, he's a very powerful character because the skill does deal a lot of damage. And he also has some interesting gameplay because not many characters have it. Most of them just shoot and then have to switch away or just shoot some random normal attacks like Huta or like Arlecchino or like all of that. Meanwhile, he has to interact with the opponents. He has to like dodge around, shoot, then has the charge attack. So yeah, even if you don't have Nahida or Emily or any of that stuff, he can still be played. So yeah, just pull for him. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to subscribe because it really helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!